Hello, my name is Shannon Stewart, and this is my presentation on parenthood. Ever wish that parenting came with a manual? It is likely the toughest job to do, and yet there is no instruction book. What works in one family may or may not work in another, and every style is completely unique. It is a wonder that anyone decides to have children in light of the uncertainty that is to come. And yet, it is one of the most rewardingly difficult things that one can do in their lifetime. Jessica Brown from the Talbot School of Theology said, "Early parenthood is difficult. It heralds the experience of a soul-breaking and soul-expanding season that shifts values, identity, goals, and the meaning of life, all while the parent is undergoing physical, emotional, and mental demands that are, for many people, unprecedented. Besides a severe shift in hormones, many mothers experience a painful start to breastfeeding, all while often carrying deep pressures for wanting to do things right. It is an exquisite and terrible time, and it can be, with God, a hearth of soul growth in which the Lord can bring His gracious presence in a way hitherto not known, and as well bring revisions to the soul that are long-lasting and desirable." In spite of the rewards, however, many decide that parenting is not for them. There are many considerations necessary when deciding whether to have children, and social scientists have identified a cultural phenomenon called pronatalist bias. This means that having a child is taken for granted, whereas not having children seems to need a justification. The text reports that 83% of American women say that being or becoming a mother is important to their identity. So one can see that the decision to remain child-free can be stigmatizing. It does seem, though, that for every argument on one side, there is an equal amount of pushback on the other. Some would argue instead that society has slanted against having children, characterized by structural antinatalism and insufficiently supportive of parents and children. In the past, children were necessary to help with household duties. Since this outlook has obviously changed, the predominant motivation now is emotional. Children bring many emotional benefits and other satisfaction to parents, such as sense of commitment and meaning. The idea that children bring unique gifts to their parents is referred to as the value of children perspective. This perspective has also been supplemented by the social capital perspective, in that parents are able to gain support through a wider support unit. One of the biggest trends in parenting is the number of women postponing childbirth until later in life. Whereas the typical age of first births used to be 21 years old, it is now increased to 25 and trending later. One reason for this trend is that men and women are waiting to have completed degrees or established careers, thus postponing parenthood. Advanced maternal age, that is women who are 35 years or older at the time of delivery, have been related to a higher psychological maturity and financial security, but also to specific challenges such as fertility-related and obstetric risks, the balance of parenting with heightened professional demands, or reduced peer support. There will always be advantages and challenges in any situation, particularly as it relates to parenting in the changing 21st century. The advantages include an additional knowledge or awareness of child development, greater emotional involvement by the father than existed decades ago, and technological advances which aid in communication with the child and extended family. Some of the challenges include maintaining the proper work-life balance. With parenting trends evolving into an established career, it can be tough to navigate both. Many employers are actually geared toward promoting only their work interests, and so it is causing many parents to try and figure out how to best balance that work-life balance, the work-family balance. Today's pluralistic society, which is defined by diverse and conflicting values, parents are only one of many influences on their child. Oftentimes media is a bigger influence, and so that is something that every parent has to try to define where their influence lies. Additionally, parents' influence on child's health, weight, eating habits, etc. But this level of influence can lead to the parent to have anxiety over how well they are performing this role. It's a big responsibility, and many feel anxiety over what that role means to their child. Finally, support of those in a child-rearing role has diminished over the years, along with the decline in the proportion of children under 18 in the population. While the family unit continues to evolve, it will no doubt present additional advantages and challenges through child rearing. In most cases, however, the benefits far outweigh any negatives. This concludes my presentation. Thank you for listening.